Okay. So the AL playoff picture has been all decided. The only thing we're going to figure out is who gets home field in the wild card, A's or Yankees. The NL. Who knows what's going to happen? Literally, there are 3 teams that have made the playoffs, and the other 3 are fighting for 2 spots. This is literally crazy, and I feel like I need to talk about this. This is seriously, gonna get out of hand. So, in case you're wondering, Ethan, it's gonna come down to the last day, probably. I mean, this has just been crazy. I mean, I think we just have to talk about this. So, my friend is a big Dodgers fan. Unfortunately, he wouldn't answer the phone, so I couldn't get him on via call. And I think we need to talk about this for a second. So, with the game that just ended, the Cubs just beat the Cardinals 4-2. I think it was 4-2. That was the score the last time I checked. So the Cubs won, which helped out the Dodgers a tremendous amount. So now, it looks like the Cubs lead the division. The Cubs lead the NL Central with a 94-66 record, and the Brewers are a game and a half behind. And the Dodgers are a game back of the Rockies for the division lead. And then the wild card is the Brewers hold main control of that first spot, and they've already clinched a playoff spot. And the Dodgers hold the next spot, and the Cardinals are a game and a half back. And to mention the East for a second, the Braves have already clinched. They're in, but they've been in for a while now. So the Braves are in. So it's gonna come down to it's gonna come down to Dodgers, Cardinals, and Rockies. Who's gonna win the West? And who's gonna come down to Cubs won 8-4. It was 4-2 last time I checked. So with the Cubs winning, that helps out the Dodgers a lot. As now, if the Cardinals were to have won, they'd be a half game back of the Dodgers. But now they're a game and a half back. So the Dodgers have some room to work with, but it is not much. And I know that the Rockies play the Tigers. And so if the Rockies can win a lot of those games, then I think that this is getting very interesting. I mean, I caught a little bit of the game in the middle, and then I had some stuff to do. But what I think is going to end up happening, and this would make the most sense to me. Hold on. Hey, guys, wait up for a second. Okay. So, This is what I expect the playoff picture to look like. I expect the Cubs, I'm not being biased, I promise you, but I expect the Cubs to win the Central and get home field advantage. And I think the Rockies are going to hold on to this top spot because they do have the Tigers coming up, and the Tigers have nothing to play for, and they're really bad. And I see the Dodgers coming in at the last spot by about a game or two. It's going to be so close. But let's look at the upcoming schedule. I think the Cardinals play another game against the Cubs. And show me the upcoming schedule for the Dodgers.
Here's the upcoming schedule for the Dodgers.
So the Dodgers have 3 games against the Giants in San Francisco. Now, these might not seem like important games for the Giants, but if you ask me, these are going to be pride games for the Giants. They're not going to want to get showed up by their biggest rival. So they would love to play spoiler and kick the Dodgers out of the playoffs. So they play tonight at 9:15 Eastern time. No, they play tonight at 10:15 Eastern Time, 9:15 Central. And so, if I can, I'll see if I can catch some of that game. Let's look at the Cardinals. Show me the Cardinals' upcoming schedule.
Which Cardinals? Arizona Card. Here's the upcoming schedule.
Okay, so the
for this
Cardinals
weekend.
have 2 more games against the Cubs. For the Cardinals to get in, they're going to have to win both of those games against the Cubs. There's, I think, no doubt about that. They're going to have to win both of those games, and they're going to have the Dodgers lose. They're going to have the Dodgers lose 2 of the games. So, if the Dodgers win tonight, then they have a 2-game lead, and they need to lose 2, and the Cardinals need to win 2 just to force a 163rd game. But if the Dodgers lose, then it's a 1-game. Then it's just 1-game difference between the 2 teams, and this could go any way. Like, this is gonna be great. I mean, so if the Dodgers win, then they're pretty much in. They would have to. So, okay, let me see if I can explain this a little better. If the Dodgers win tonight, then they have a 2-game lead, and in order for the Cardinals to just force an extra game, they would have to win both of the games. They would have to win both of the games They would have to win both against the Cubs, and the Dodgers would have to lose the next 2 against the Giants. So essentially, the Cardinals can't afford any more losses. And if the Dodgers get 1 more win, then they're pretty much in. And I kind of want to talk about the Cubs and Brewers for a second. I think let's see who the Brewers play, since I know the Cubs are the Cardinals the next 2 games. Show me the upcoming schedule for the Brewers.
Here's the upcoming schedule for the Brewers between today.
Okay,
and
wait a
Sunday.
minute. I was wrong. Okay, so the Brewers have Detroit, who's essentially just going to be resting players, whereas the Cubs are playing against a Cardinals team that's playing for everything they've got. But I think the Cubs will be able to hold off. The magic number is 2. And in case you guys don't know what the magic number is, the magic number for the Cubs is 2. So that means that's the number of wins or Brewers losses needed to get into the playoffs. So if the Cubs win 2, they're in. If the Brewers lose 2, they're in. If the Cubs win 1 and the Brewers win 1, then they're in. I mean, they're already in, but that's just to clinch the division. Who's your MVP, Baez or Yelich? Mine's Yelich. I think I'm going to have to go with Baez. I'm sorry. I'm being really biased, but I have to go with Baez. I mean, he's just stepped up and been the most valuable player on a team that's leading him on a leading team. So I think that's considered most valuable. But I'll tell you a team that is watching intently, and shout out Uncle Luke, sub to him in the chat, is the Braves. They are watching very intently, as if the Rockies hold on to this lead, then they're going to play the Rockies. But if the Dodgers somehow come back and win this division, as they're only a game back, then they're going to play the... Then they would... So the Braves are either going to play the Rockies or the... The Braves are going to play the Rockies or the Dodgers, okay? Let's see who the Rockies have upcoming. Show me the Rockies' schedule.
Here's the upcoming schedule for the Rockies.
So the
between
Rockies
today
have
and
the
Sunday.
Nationals, as the Nationals have had a very disappointing year. So, okay, let's get this straight. The Cardinals play the Cubs for 2 more. The Dodgers have the Giants, the Rockies have the Nationals, and the Brewers have the Tigers. Of those teams, the Brewers are probably in the best shape. But, man, this could go any way. I mean, if I had to predict it, I think the Rockies hold on to that division lead. They play the Braves, and the Brewers, I think, will end up getting the wild card, and then they would play the Dodgers. Because if LA wins tonight, they're pretty much in, and St. Louis is pretty much out. But if LA loses, this gets very interesting. But it's going to all come out on what happens in San Francisco tonight. If LA pulls out a win, or if the Giants try to play spoilers, this is going to This is gonna come down to the wire, man. I'm really excited. Thanks to all you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.